All right, we're just going to step out of that report, get your news on the go unfolding in KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, we've been watching the swearing-in ceremony of the IFP's Thami Ntuli, currently taking place in Pietermaritzburg. It seems he's about to take his pledge. Let's listen in.
I, Thami Ntuli, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, respect and uphold the Constitution and all other law of the Republic. And I undertake to hold my office as Premier of the Province of KwaZulu-Natal with honor and dignity, to be a true and faithful counsellor, not to divulge directly or indirectly any secret matter entrusted to me, and to perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God. I'm signing.
I now present you with the Premier of the Province of KwaZulu-Natal, Thami Ntuli.
And there you have it, live visuals coming out of the Woodburn Rugby Stadium in Scottsville. That's in Pietermaritzburg, where the man standing there, Thami Ntuli, is officially the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal after taking his pledge literally just seconds ago, to a resounding applause from those who are inside that particular venue. And in many ways, the real work, I suppose, begins now, because the focus will shift to his executive, which we're told he'll announce shortly after this particular ceremony. And what's important to look out for is the configuration of this executive in KwaZulu-Natal, because we know that province forms part of this agreed government of national unity. And we understand that the configuration of the executive will certainly give us a sense of what might take place at a national level. But of course, the dynamics in KwaZulu-Natal not lost on anyone. The IFP back at the helm. It's been there before though, back in 2004. But my goodness, what a different province and certainly different country it was back then. Now, of course, there's so much to negotiate in a context where no single organization in KwaZulu-Natal and of course the country was able to pass that 50% threshold, which means there had to be a bit of bargaining, a give and take, in order to ensure that there is stability in that province. Thami Ntuli, of course, has filled a number of roles in the province. He's been mayor before. He's also recently come out of being the chairperson of the South African Local Government Association in that province. That too, I suppose, will hopefully give him the kind of, let's call it wisdom, for lack of a better term, to be able to navigate these uncharted waters, given, of course, the myriad of issues that are facing people in KwaZulu-Natal. It's a province that's had its fair share of challenges over the past decade, perhaps even more recently, of course, with the many floods we've seen throughout the months. Let's get a sense of what else takes place there at the Woodburn Rugby Stadium in Scottsville.
We shall now request the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, and his Deputy Provincial Commissioners to leave before the Premier. The Premier will be going outside of the marquee to the parade, to the stand, and also to take a salute.
All right, so there you have it. It seems we're moving now to the next step of the proceedings that are unfolding. The newly minted Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Thami Ntuli, being led outside the main venue at the Woodburn Rugby Stadium in Scottsville, accompanied there by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the Provincial Commissioner of Police in KwaZulu-Natal. That's where we understand there's going to be some kind of parade that he's going to oversee, all part, of course, of the pomp and ceremony of what this moment entails. But many people are watching very eagerly to see, as I mentioned, what happens next after all of this has been done and dusted. Who will occupy the executive in KwaZulu-Natal, especially because there have been a number of parties, of course, that ensured that Thami Ntuli, at least this time around, is able to take up that position as Premier. What's happening today, of course, also comes on the back of those many claims that were being circulated on social media around the NFP, a crucial player in this government of provincial unity, supposedly not having a seat. The IEC releasing a statement clarifying, of course, that they had to update their elections dashboard. And in fact, they've gone as far as to say that they've included the regional and national ballots at a national level. That's why we see those numbers changing. But in KwaZulu-Natal, also coming out unequivocally there to mention that none of the seat allocations have been changed, which means that the NFP will be able to retain their seat in the provincial legislature. And that means their votes last week will also, of course, continue to be considered in the lead up to what's taken place today. So hopefully we're able to get you a sense of what's taking place outside the marquee. That's where, of course, Thami Ntuli is now at to watch the the parade, of the police in that province, who also, by the way, have certainly been in the news in the past, or the recent past, for the ways in which they seem to be clamping down on crime. I mean, we've really lost count of the incidents where police in KwaZulu-Natal have had an exchange with suspected criminals, and that leading to fatalities. Let's get you a sense of the sights and sounds of this parade as it takes place outside of that marquee.
stand at ease.
We may be seated.
Parade, action, Arfana, Soler, Oos. Arfana, close, Oder, move. Parade march pass by. Columns of platoons move to the right turn. Parade commanders take positions.
All right, at 19 minutes after 11 o'clock this Tuesday morning, we're watching live visuals coming out of the Woodburn Rugby Stadium in Scottsville. The man inside that frame there, the scaffolding, is Thami Ntuli. He's just been sworn in as the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. He's been quoted in the media saying that today begins the start of an important journey where we join a long list of people who've gone before to try and make the lives of people in KwaZulu-Natal better. And certainly that's going to be top of mind for people who live in this particular province, given the many challenges, of course, it's faced, even just outside of politics, national disasters, the July unrest really having its impact felt in that particular province, and many other issues that I suppose are shared with everybody else in the world, in the country. And I suppose Thami Ntuli will certainly have to get down to business as soon as possible. A lot of just the ceremonial aspects of today being observed now, including the police parade, which is by and large just wrapped up. We've been told that what happens soon after this is that he'll be able to get us a sense of who will form part of his cabinet. But there in frame, of course, is Inauguration, who is the current provincial commissioner of police in KwaZulu-Natal, a man who has certainly seemed to be drawing a hard line when it comes to fighting crime in that province, given the approach that many people say the police in KwaZulu-Natal have now taken when it comes to responding to criminality. We've seen him at the coalface, really, of some really disruptive moments in the province. I'm reminded of a taxi strike, for example, that really ground the very busy Queen Nandi Drive to a halt. Mkhwanazi was there in person, engaging with some of the taxi bosses there to try find a resolution insofar as that is concerned. One has to wonder what kind of relationship then he will have with the incoming Premier of the province, Thami Ntuli, being really recently sworn in just a few seconds ago. We'll keep watching the developments as they continue to unfold there in Pietermaritzburg.